How do AI systems understand the context of the words that we use? By the end of this video, you're going to understand. So, we've got a simple sentence here to illustrate how it works. So we've got a sentence that says, the bat flew out the cave. And as I've touched on in previous videos, for an AI system to understand the context of a sentence, it needs to understand the meaning of each word in a sentence and how they relate to one another. So what it will do is first perform something called tokenization, which splits up the sentence into small units of text. In this example, it will be the words themselves. And then it will convert the words or tokens into unique representations called embeddings. So each of the words will have its own unique embedding. But the problem here is, let's take the word bat. Bat has at least 3 meanings that I know of: a piece of sports equipment, a flying mammal, and to flutter one's eyelids. So how would the AI system know that we're referring to the flying mammal? Well, we know that we're referring to the flying mammal in this context because of our understanding of language. And over time, because of the use of the words cave and flew, we would know that we're most likely referring to the flying mammal. But how does AI understand this? Well, AI understands it through the concept of attention. Attention applies a similar philosophy as we do, is that it will look at the other words in a sentence and apply context to the original numerical representation. So the numerical representation goes into the attention mechanism, and then we get a new numerical representation for each word in the sentence with context from the other words in the sentence. So let's focus on the word bat to illustrate how it works. So the first step is called relevant scoring. So relevant scoring will be comparing the word bat with each of the other words in the sentence. And then we'll say, okay, bat and flew, well, bats fly, so therefore that one's relevant. Bat and cave, well, bats live in a cave, so those two concepts are related, so that will get a high score. But the rest, they won't get such a high score. And so once we have a score, then when we're creating combining the information of all the sentences, all the words rather, into the new numerical representation, we give more weight to those words that are similar. So let's pick out an example. Let's say 25% of the new representation is going to be associated to bat, the word bat. 25% to flew. These are just rough numbers just to illustrate how it works. 25% to cave. We'll give 5% to the, 5%, and then 15% to out. So these will be combined to create a new numerical representation for the word bat. And then, but this time, the difference between the original numerical representation and the new representation is that it has context of all the other words represented in the numerical representation for the word bat. And that's how an AI system understands the context of the words that we use.